Hello and welcome once again to Jacob's Toys 5 minute figure reviews. Please do like, share, subscribe and all of those things. All support to the channel is very much appreciated. In this video we are taking a look at the Marvel Legends Disney Plus wave, and of course in this video we are taking a look at She-Hulk. Now She-Hulk series has just finished and it's got mixed opinions, but I'm not here to talk about the show, I'm here to talk about the figure. So without further ado, let's open it up and have a look what's in the box. Now of course you get the figure of She-Hulk. The only accessories included in the box is of course some additional hands, as well as a builder figure piece for that Infinity Ultron, and you get one of his legs. But I'll have a look at Infinity Ultron in a different video, so do stay tuned to the channel. So, She-Hulk. What can be said about She-Hulk? Now, to be perfectly honest with you, on initial inspection, she's a really nicely put together figure. She's all pinless, she stands a lot higher than other figures, so she's accurate to the show. She's got some really nice articulation. She's got a like a chest swivel. She's got two joints in the knees. She's got two joints in the elbows. She's got her wrist. Now the only thing that I would complain about is that because of the shoes, there's a tongue on the shoe there, that you can't get her ankle quite as far forward as I'd probably like. She's got these nice open palm hands, so she can do like the Hulk clap move. But the one place that I really would complain is the hair. Because the hair is sculpted, there's not a lot of articulation in the neck because the hair goes over the shoulders and down the back. With that said though, the likeness to the character and to the representation of She-Hulk in the series is pretty spot on. This has got to be one of the best photoreal tech faces I've seen in a long time, and overall the figure is really nice. Now she's of course in her kind of superhero outfit that she got in the series. If you haven't watched She-Hulk, then I don't know why you'd be watching this review anyway, but I will just say there's a couple of spoilers ahead. Now, it's really cool that she's got the double jointed elbows, that's a real plus, but I would say these fist hands, the closed fist hands, look really small in comparison. If you have a look at one fist hand and one open palm hand, they kind of scale right, but at the same token they look quite diddy. When you've put them both on, I don't know if it's just me, but they just look a little bit small in comparison to the rest of her body. Now, I don't know whether that's because the size of hands that Hasbro have, the other ones look too big, but these definitely looked a little bit out of proportion. But not so much that when she's on display or I'm taking pictures of her, I would complain, just upon initial inspection. Now, let's have a look at her next to the comic She-Hulk. Now, this is the one that came out, I think it was last year. Can't remember exactly, but they stand pretty much shoulder to shoulder. However, the proportions are very different. So even though she is as tall as the comic accurate She-Hulk, the proportions on her are slightly different. If I grab our Hulk, the Smart Hulk, this is the builder figure, you can see that she's quite a bit smaller than that figure. Now, this is a shame because in the show there isn't a huge height difference between them. But when you stand them shoulder to shoulder like this, you can see that there really is a huge height difference in between these two figures. Which I think is a shame because these two had some really good chemistry on screen and would make for some nice displays and some nice photographs. But to have these two next to each other and the proportions be so different is a little bit off-putting. So I'm not going to do a lot with Bruce Banner's Hulk. I'm just going to have a look at Jennifer Waters in both comic and MCU attire. Now I must admit I'm one of the people that did quite enjoy the She-Hulk TV show. I thought it was really fun. I loved the fourth wall breaking. Yeah, I enjoyed it from beginning to end. But as I said, I'm not going to talk about the actual show. Let's just talk about the figure. Now, one thing that I was curious about is whether you could kind of swap parts around, whether you could swap the heads around. But look, if I just compare these fists, you can see that the comic accurate one is quite large. Their fists are quite a lot larger than the MCU version. But as I said, here's a close-up of that head sculpt, and it's a really good photoreal tech. Now the disappointing thing is the greens are slightly different, and even though they do stand shoulder to shoulder, the proportions are different as well. So the MCU head doesn't look that great on the comic book body, so I wouldn't suggest kind of buying one for that swap. But putting the head back on the body, this is one of my favourite figures in the wave. I think it's a really strong wave, covers a whole span of different MCU shows. So if you've been watching the MCU Disney Plus shows this year, for example, you're going to get Moon Knight, you're going to get Hawkeye, you're going to get Miss Marvel, you're going to get She-Hulk. and of course you're going to get the Infinity Ultron builder figure. So I think it's a really strong wave overall, and I think She-Hulk is definitely one of the better figures. I'm really pleased that they didn't kind of make her a deluxe figure, because she is slightly bigger than the others, so I think to be included in the wave is a really nice touch. Now, there are a whole bunch of other characters that we could have in figure form, so there is potential for a future kind of She-Hulk wave, but if my prediction's anything to go by, I would say that this one is probably going to be not high on a lot of people's priority list, but is going to be one that's a little bit harder to get down the line. So if you did enjoy the She-Hulk program, then I fully suggest that you do go and get her, because she is a really nice figure. That's about it. Thank you very much for watching. Please do like, share, subscribe, and all of those things, and I'll see you soon.